NTI Day 11, and it should be Wednesday, April 8th. And today we are learning about the triangle sum theorem. First off, we've been working with triangles and identifying them. We've been working with congruent triangles, and now we're going to start doing some math with those triangles. The triangle sum theorem, remember, sum is a word that means to add. When I add something up, it gives me the sum. The triangle sum is when you add all angles. We know that a triangle has 1, 2, 3 angles, and if I add 1 plus 2, so angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, it's going to give me 180 degrees, just like a straight line, just like supplementary angles. So let me see if I can get this a little bit clearer. There it goes. But what you're going to do today is have a triangle like this. Maybe it's a right triangle, which means that it's a triangle that has a right angle in it. And then you are also given that this measures 47 degrees. So we know that angle, and then this might be x. We know this angle is really 90 degrees. And this angle is 47 degrees. And then we're going to throw in x. And that should give me 180 degrees. Think back to when we were doing one-step equations with angles. The first thing I'm going to do is combine like terms. So 90 and 47, I'm going to add those. So 90 plus 47 is 137 plus x equals 180. And I can subtract 137 from both sides. And that would give me what x equals. But we can simplify this process a little bit easier because you're going to be doing the exact same process for each of these. The first thing you're going to want to do, step 1, is add your angles together. You'll notice that's what we did here. 90 plus 47 was 137 degrees. Step 2 is to take that and to do 180 minus whatever you got from this. And that will give you your answer. If you're working online, this will not be the paper that you have. But the exact same examples that are not circled will be the ones that you will have to complete through a Google form. Let's start off with example 1. Now we had a simplified way of solving this, and it was to add the two angles and subtract from 180. So 70 plus 25 is 95, and 180 minus 95, grab a calculator if you need to, is 85 degrees. So x would be 85. And you'd be done. Same thing with example number 3. But before we move on, does it make sense for our angle to be 85 degrees? This does kind of look like it's a little bit smaller than a right angle, and a right angle is 90, so I think we're good to go. Moving on to example 3, our same two steps. 48 plus 84 is 132, and our second step is to subtract that from 180. To get 47. 8 degrees, which makes sense in this case because it's a much smaller angle than we're talking about here. Number 5 is a little bit different. You'll notice that we only are given one angle, but we know that that square means 90. So we're still adding the two given angles. That's step 1. And step 2, subtract it from 180. 64 plus 90 was 154, and so now 180 minus 154 is 26, which again makes sense because our angle was small. It was an acute angle. The last type of angle that we're going to do, or type of example here, is exactly the same. It's just another one to show you that you can have a large angle that's over 100 degrees and you're still adding them both. And you're still subtracting from 180. Your answer should make sense. If it's an acute angle, it should be less than 90. If it's obtuse, it should be more than 90. And if it's close to 90, then it should look close to a 90-degree angle or a right angle. Like if you look at number 8, this looks like it should be 90, but we can't assume that because it does not have a square. So you would actually have to solve for that. Our last example is what happens if we have a word problem. When we read word problems, we should underline and circle things that we know are important to the subject. A right, that's important, triangle has an angle, that's also important, that measures 45 degrees. What is the measure of the third angle? We're going to try to do the same 2 steps here. Do we have 2 angles to add together? Technically, no. But what do we know about a right triangle? A right triangle has to have one angle that's 90 degrees. So we do have 2 angles we can add together. 90 plus 45 is 135, and 180 minus 135 is 45. Once you start doing this for a while, you will notice that there are a couple of triangles that happen a lot, and a 90, 45, 45 triangle is one of them. Your job is to go to the Google form that says missing angle of a triangle, and we have cut and pasted this. Remember to only put the number. So if you look at mine that I've done, this would be correct, but it only if I did not put x equals. If I put a degree symbol, it's going to count it wrong. If I try to write out 40 degrees with the word after it, it will also count it wrong. That's when you want to email your teacher and make sure that we can manually change that grade. But it makes our jobs a lot easier, and it gives you the correct answers if you put in just the number. Again, we're always here to email and call and text if you need any help. Other than that, I hope you're staying safe and have a great day.